Hello, you made it through week 1 of Leadership and Team Dynamics, and we are here in this intro video for week 2. And hopefully this video is going to help you understand what week 2 is going to entail and give you a few little things to think about and make sure you remember as we move forward. So what do we know? This last week in week 1, we really did a couple things. We kind of got into Moodle, we figured out what the class was about, we read our syllabus, and we really were able to get logged into our book. Our book, we know, is a digital book from Phi Theta Kappa, and this is what your book should look like. You should have different units, and in the units, what you're going to see is some leadership readings and also some TED Talks. You're also going to see some recommended films. Those are not going to be necessarily part of our curriculum. However, I do have a video clip that I'll have you watch here in week 2 of 12 O'Clock High. But as you're scrolling through and seeing those recommended films, because we don't have license to show them or record them within our course, and I couldn't find free versions of most of them, those won't be required. But you're welcome to watch them to see how they might kind of enhance your understanding of each of the units. So in week 1, we were talking about our own personal leadership philosophy, and you were reading about different types of leaders and reading about kind of their histories and what made them a good leader. You'll notice that as you not only read about Sarah and Angela, and you read about John McCain, and you watched all those TED Talks, leadership philosophies can range widely, and there are lots of different philosophies that make good leaders. It doesn't mean you have to be one type of leader, but as you're looking at those and as you're reading and pondering, hopefully you're starting to think about yourself as a leader and think about your own philosophies and how you would personally kind of deal with some of these situations. We're going to continue that personal leadership philosophy kind of exploration this week as well, as we head into Unit 2, which is leading by serving. And in Unit 2, we're going to talk a lot about servant leadership, and you're going to learn what that is, what it looks like, and then you're also going to be, next week in week 3, learning about a project that you'll be working on for your own personal servant leadership. So let's go back to our course here real quick, and let's take a look at some of the things that you did in week 1 that you also want to remember are part of your personal leadership philosophy. We not only did those readings and watched those TED Talks and thought about their leadership, but we also did a questionnaire to kind of think about what our own social motives are, and we reflected on that. We also took an MBTI type test, and you haven't got the results of that yet, but you will get that hopefully by Wednesday of this week. It takes me quite a while to go through those, but what this is going to do is tell you what your personality type is. Now, again, that's just a assumption, doesn't mean that it is exactly that, but you're going to have some readings to do once I give you your results back to see what that might mean for you as a leader, and then you'll get an opportunity to think about whether that is really you or not. But so you did that, and what you're going to continue doing this week to help you think about your personal leadership philosophy is you'll notice that the very first assignment we have in week 2 is to think about our assumptions about people. So you're going to do some more explanation. You're going to learn about something called X and Y theory, and that's going to help you understand 2 specific types of leadership, and you'll be able to think about yourself, which one you might be, and ponder how that would affect you as a leader, how that might show itself when you're in a leadership role. So those are all things you're going to be using as you continue to develop your personal leadership philosophy. One of the things, I'm going to scroll right down here to the bottom of week 2 real quick, is you're going to notice that as we're exploring our personal leadership philosophy, and you saw this in the syllabus, is that there is a paper that you'll be writing that's due in week 5. So there's no midterm in this class, but this paper is due. It's kind of like a midterm, where you're going to explore your personal leadership philosophy using all the readings and all those activities that you've done. So week 2, here are the instructions. It's a 2 to 3 page double-spaced report, so it's not super long, but you're going to be talking and telling me what you think effective leadership means to you, and you're going to review yourself and others in leadership's roles using your Myers-Briggs results, your XY theory type results, along with all those other assessments you've been taking. You'll be answering 3 main questions, and one of the things, we'll talk a lot more about this paper before it's due, but really make sure you're answering every one of these questions in that paper. Many times people don't spend much time on this last question. How will you develop these skills and characteristics after you've identified what they are that you need to develop? And this really is the most important part. This is where you are going to then set some goals for yourself after week 5 for developing these skills. So I want you to line out how you're going to develop these new skills so that you have a plan. So this, of course, is due the end of week 5, Sunday night of week 5. And if you remember from the syllabus, it's like 20% of your grade. So you want to do a good job on this. I want to see that you've been really thoughtful, that you're using all the readings and kind of the activities that we're doing to build your philosophy. So that is showing here at the end of week 2. So after we kind of finish working on our personal philosophy here at the front of week 2, we move in to talking about servant leadership. And as you look at the top of Unit 2, it's really important that you kind of read these summaries. What we know is that service to others is not only good for the public, but it's really a cornerstone of leadership. And so this unit's going to explore the idea of the public leader and demonstrate that leadership in any field of endeavor benefits when a leader makes the effort to serve. So you're going to be reading and watching videos about leaders who did serve, who were working hard for the good of everybody, and you were then going to think about the importance of that servant leadership. As we're looking at the assignments you'll be doing with those readings, remember that we're starting at the top of the week and we're moving down, so we're doing each thing in order. One of the things that you will do, remember I said that you'll watch a movie clip. This is one of the ones that I was able to grab. This clip is 2 hours. Don't watch the whole thing. I mean, you're welcome to, but don't watch the whole thing because you just need a little under the first hour, only the first hour, to do the Flipgrid post that's going to ask you to explore the leadership styles of the 2 main people in the 2 main leaders in the film. So we're moving from the top to the bottom. We're doing each item in order. It's important we do them in order because this top part is about kind of leadership styles, and then we move in to Unit 2. So we don't want to move to Unit 2 till we finished Unit 1. When you're doing the Flipgrid post, thank you for doing your introductions. It's been fun to kind of hear about everybody and what you're hoping to do and why you're taking this class, and it's been fun to see that. But remember, when we click on these activities, this post here where it says do not submit anything, it is just for me to put your grade. So that's not where you're finding the assignment instructions. The actual assignment instructions for the Flipgrid post is here, right? So I click here, it tells me an overview of kind of the movie and what we're reading, what we're looking for, gives me some directions. It tells me that as I'm watching this film, I'm kind of taking some notes about the leadership styles of Davenport and Savage. Those are the 2 main leaders in this video clip. And be ready to explain why Davenport fails as a leader and why Savage succeeds. So make sure you're reading these because it's giving you kind of context for watching then this clip. So you're going to watch it, you're going to be thinking about those things, and then of course, just like we did last week, we're going to go to our Flipgrid link, we're going to log in with our student Gmail, and then once I'm in, it opens up again. And here again, I have a little bit of background information, and then I can post my response. Just a reminder about the responses. This one is a 2-minute response, so that's all you have, just 2 minutes to give your explanation. And please remember that it's okay if you don't show your face. I know a lot of people are kind of shy and they don't want to show their face. I don't care. You can just show your cat or the window or, you know, some other image. It doesn't matter. So don't be afraid of that. So you're going to respond, and then don't forget that if I was looking at this assignments instructions, that on the Flipgrid responses, it's only one response to a classmate. When we're doing forum posts, it's 2 responses, but on the Flipgrid ones, it's just 1 response to any classmate. Okay. The other thing that you'll see at the bottom of all these instructions for our assignments is that you can do the check marks on the page. So let me show you what I mean by that. As I'm looking at this page, do you see how there's these boxes and I can click when I've completed each item? Now, some of these will be manual for me to click, but do you see how some of these are kind of a dotted line? So if they're a solid line, you can just manually check it. But if it's a dotted line, it means that the computer is going to actually check mark it for you after you've clicked on this link. So again, solid line, you manually check. The dotted line will check after you've done or opened that activity. Okay, so Unit 2, Week 2, we are going to be finishing up some activities for our personal leadership philosophy, and then we're moving into servant leadership. So you're going to be reading, you're going to be watching your videos and TED Talks, and then you're going to be doing some responses. Here's those instructions I talked about, the personal leadership philosophy. And then when you get to the end of week 2, you're going to see something new, something you haven't seen yet. And that is an area for our group activities. One of the things you know is that I sent out a kind of Google Doc that had L numbers and asked you to put your availability for a 1-hour meeting throughout the week. And what I'm going to do is use that information to assign groups. We're going to have groups of 5. And this class, of course, is not just leadership, but also team dynamics. And we have to do some teamwork in order to kind of work on that piece. So you're going to see every week some links under group activities. This one has 2. One will say the group assignment. So this week's group assignment really, this is going to tell you, I haven't put them in here yet, all the people in your group. And what I'm going to ask for you to do is log in to Moodle, which is here, and find your group. And there is a forum that you're going to be using at the top of Moodle. You don't see it available right now. Shoot, I'm just noticing that as I'm making this video, but it's going to be up here above week 1. And see how this is not available? This is going to say team communication when I open it up for you. And there is going to be a forum for group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, group 5, each individually, and you can only access that forum if you're a member of that group. But you're going to get in there and you're going to give them your email address or how you want to be contacted, what times work best for you within that range that you had listed already. We know that you're going to use this forum to initially start communicating with your group throughout the term. This group will be the group that you have all the way through the end. And you're going to be meeting once a week for just 1 hour. Just 1 hour, that's it. And these interactions that you have each week, you're going to be using that as the basis for your team journal, which we'll talk about next week because you're not doing it yet. So that's one thing you'll see under that group assignments section. The other thing you're going to see in here today is that we are looking for a group leader. So once you log in here and you see everybody in the group, If you're willing to be a group leader, if you could email me and let me know, that would be fantastic. The group leader's main duty really is just to set up the Google Hangout meetings and get that time established and make sure those meetings happen. That's all you have to do as the group leader, but you will get extra credit for doing that. So please think about if you want to practice being a leader and organizing people a little bit, and let me know and I'll put you as your group leader. Okay, that is how you're going to find out what your group assignment is, but what is the actual item you need to do with your group this week? This is what this link is about. And you're going to notice that there's really no assignment for you guys this week. It's just getting together, making sure you can get in the Google Hangout and that you've kind of introduced yourself. Ideally, it would be great for you all to get in on Google Hangout together and navigate around, have people practice sharing their screen, have someone share a Google Doc and type on it. Just really get familiar with not only Google Docs and your group, but how to navigate. There's nothing to turn in for this, but there will be in week 3, so it's really super important that you guys kind of get this figured out this week so that you can do next week's assignment. Now, what if you don't know about Google Hangouts? Well, there were some videos, if you remember, in our syllabus, and let's take a look at that real quickly. Our syllabus had at the end, if you remember, all the technology requirements, and there was some videos for Flipgrid, but there's also one for a Google Hangout introduction. That's one way. You also could simply just do a YouTube search for how to use Google Hangouts, and there's tons and tons of videos that come up for that. So that's the end of week 2. Thank you so much for listening and watching this video. Please reach out and let me know if you have any questions about anything, and enjoy this week. Lots of learning, lots of self-discovery happening. Have a great day. Bye-bye.